So there, a couple weeks ago, I looked like I was fondling a Smurf. Now, it looks like I was fondling a piece of coal. What were you guys thinking? Yeah, I went over. So anyways, yeah, I got all my sanding done. I gotta mask everything, wipe everything down. Oh, we got a lot to do. Today's Super Bowl Sunday. I really don't want to watch either team. I mean, not Duke, I don't want to watch it, but at the same time, I gotta paint this car. And this is pretty much the last chance I'm gonna get to paint it for the next month. Okay? So, I kind of want to try to get this thing done. Alrighty, kids. Everything's wiped down twice. Floor's wet. Got 2 fans with microfibers on the doors. This is kind of how I set it up. And I have a couple things to do before I start throwing sealer on. So first off, there's a couple very small, well, I already hit these and sanded them. There was some big chips in the hood. So self-etching primer after I sanded it and sanded those down. Then I kind of went through mainly right here, and that's bare metal right there in that edge. Now, instead of spraying it, letting it dry and sanding it, I'm going to spray it within a time frame so whenever I spray sealer over it, it will bond, okay? So I don't need to seal this whole hood, but I'm going to seal a little section here. I need to seal the front. I need to seal the whole front section of the fender. So I'll probably just go right down through here. I'm going to try to avoid getting the sealer over here. I'm going to spray as close as I can to the edge of this fender. Another thing I did was touched up a couple chips right at the edge of this fender. I opened the paint and touched them up before I went ahead and sanded everything. So I filled those in so you're not going to see them. I also burnt through the primer on this bumper in a lot of places. I am going to try, I'm coating this whole thing with adhesion promoter. I hope I have enough. But I'm coating this whole thing with adhesion promoter, and then while it's drying, I'm going to spray the self-etching primer. Then we're going to mix up sealer, and we're going to seal the whole bumper. We're going to seal the sections I told you. And then after that dries, base coat, several coats, clear coat, several coats. So that's just a forecast of what you're in for. I could be sitting down watching the Super Bowl in an hour, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so I hit the garage too warm. It's dry. I need to get some stuff on it. I already mixed up my color. I did switch the tips out on this. There's an optional tip for these. And now I told you it was a 1.7 before. I got the needle, jet, and the tip 1.4. It's like $60, but you have to call Harbor Freight and get them on the phone to order it. There's an optional, there's a different part number for that one than what comes with the gun. So I just switched them. The 1.4 is what was on that last gun I just used. This had a 1.7, and that's like a primer tip, okay? So the 1.4, this should spray out a lot nicer instead of like throwing it like it was before. So I'm hoping this turns out good, so let's see.
'Cause we're fighting flames with fire. They just keep getting higher. It's a little bit concerning. We're running out of time and everything is burning. Fighting flames with fire. They just keep getting higher. It's a little bit concerning. We're running out of time and everything is burning. The days keep passing me by, watching our promises die. Round and round we go. I'm playing with fire, but I can't.
Alright, so I will tell you, I like the 1.4 a lot better. I feel like I have more control. I'm not throwing too much on. I'm not really worried about my runs. If you look at it, it's a pretty even looking finish. It's a little splotchy here, and then I started adding more on this side, which is probably what I'm going to do on the next coat. We're going to add some more. The bumper, I was just getting the feel of it. The bumper looks really good. So, the metallic in it looks really good. The surface, everything looks like really good. And I'm not having any bad reactions with my adhesion promoter or anything. That's a plus too. So, we're going to let this flash off, and then we're going to continue on. Now, I got this as close as I wanted to get it here. You see I sprayed it the whole way over here. In fact, I might do one more pass pretty close. But if you remember, we did sealer like way up here. So I did coat all of this. So, yeah, it's looking good. I'm liking it.
Efforts we made, nothing but ashes, and I think we're to blame. In the heat of the night, like I'm off to the flame. Paris is burning, and we're to blame. Because we're fighting flames of fire. They just keep getting higher. It's a little bit concerning. We're running out of time. Everything is burning. Fighting flames with fire. They just keep getting higher. A little bit concerning. We're running out of time and everything is burning. Because we're fighting flames with fire. They just keep getting higher.
Pretty happy with how that's looking. That's 2 coats, and I feel certain that we're ready for clear. So I'm going to go to clear. No need for 3 coats of the base. If you get a good coverage, we have sealer and then 2 coats of base. I'll sometimes do a 3rd coat, but this time I don't feel like it's necessary. We got good coverage. Let's move on to the clear. Hopefully, no runs. One thing is, I have it a little bit warmer in here, which I might warm it up a little bit more. Plus, I'm using Shopline Clear, and I'm using the stuff I normally use. So, I'm hoping we have a good outcome. And that's something to take a note. That stuff I'm using on the truck, the coating store, I'm using medium reducer or a medium hardener in that clear. I think the next time I order it, I'm going to order it with a fast activator and see how it works. Because I'm getting a good finish to start, but then it's running. So if I have the fast activator, it might dry quicker, might be less susceptible to run. So we'll see when we do the next painting on the truck. But as for Shopline, I really like shop line paint. I don't really have a lot of issues with it. So, alrighty then. Alrighty then. There's 70. Here's the medium. You got the 70. Well, there ain't a lot of that there either. I hope I have more. Good thing is you don't use as much of this because it's like, what is it? 4 to 1. So don't use much of it, but I think I do have another. I gotta go see if I have. So unfortunately, I do not have any more of them, but I'm over where my big cups are, so we're gonna use the big container. Yeah, that's kind of upsetting that I didn't get. I'm gonna have to buy a lot more supply. All right, I'm not scared. I'm pretty sure I have enough to fill this up one more time with that, at least. Maybe a little bit more. Just unfortunate that I don't have more. I thought maybe I did, but I do not. So that's on my supply list to get. I do have a whole nother jug of clear, but it makes no good without the hardener. So after one coat, it looks phenomenal, okay? I need to go clean this gun. I got to give this a half an hour. I did find more activator. It's fast activator, which might be good when we get to the last coat if it gets cold in here. As of right now, temperatures are pretty good, and they've been pretty good the whole time. So 2 more coats, and we're going to call it a night. I did watch some of the game, just so you know. And I did find a hair in the clear coat, and I think I can get it out, but I got to be very careful. Second coat went okay, but I got a huge drop on the hood. My canister was leaking after I refilled it, and I didn't notice it until there's a couple drops there. Right here is when I noticed it, right there. So, no runs yet, but we got a drop. Regardless, it's turning out really good. We got one more coat. I'm going to give it time. Alright, time for the last coat. I'll throw my light on. Let's see how this turned out. Yeah, it flattened out a little bit. It's not near as bad now. I need to make sure that that thing's freaking sealed this time, so it don't drip again. That sucks. Like every time, something. This is original paint over here. This is where I blended at. There's really, I think there may be a slight difference in the metallic, but it's not enough to make it look like I can't even tell. I'm looking at the metallic. I did this corner over here too. So this is original paint here, and then kind of painted right on that crease there. Yeah, it's good, and I got a really good finish too, even with that drop over there. It's not even that bad. I'm gonna go. It's halftime, and I did watch some of it in between coats. So I'm gonna go clean my gun, let this dry for a while, and then once this kind of all the fumes come down, I'm gonna get my heater going and kind of bake the finish. Not bake it, but I don't know why it turned on. My furnace should not have turned on. I better go mess with it. Alright, I don't know why it turned on there. I had it turned off and the furnace still kept on. So once these fumes die down, we'll come back out and see what it looks like a little bit better.
So yep, I am still very thrilled with the results. They look really good. I don't know how this comes up on camera, but the finish is great. The metallic looks great. It's all good. It's all good. The bumper turned out really good. I'm glad, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out, that I sanded through the primer. I tried not to do that at all, but the adhesion promoter normally works pretty good, and I think we got a good result, boys. It looks really good. I will say, I did forget to spray this one several times, but I did get 2 coats of clear on it, and I did get sealer and I think a coat on the base coat, but it looks the same. So, and all it is a little plug. So I think it's going to be fine. I don't see a single run. I could be wrong. I just don't see one. Let me look. Down here is where I would normally have it. Looks good. Let's go to the other side. Not a single one? Are you sure? Nothing? Nothing over... How? I'll tell you, I do a lot better with the darker colors. I can see my wet line a lot better, and it just goes smoother. It's just like the color on that truck. I don't know what it is, but I cannot see my wet line. It's hard to do. White, I even do a little bit better with. That gray, it's hard. So that's going to be a hard paint job to nail, and I'm probably not going to get it right, but we're going to try. So this stuff needs to sit. I'm going to let it sit at work tomorrow, and that's probably going to be the end of this episode. And by probably, I mean it is. So if you like this episode, smash that like button, consider subscribing, hit that dislike button if your mom prefers a drip, and we'll see you on the next episode of Alright. We are still having hiss fits. She does not like these new cats. I am sorry. I'm so sorry. He's a hit or a miss. He likes to play with them sometimes, and then sometimes he doesn't want them to play with him. But he's still himself. What do you... Oh, you see a shadow. You see the shadow. Are we being a gentleman right now? Look how much he has grown. This is ridiculous. And he's still the ornery one. He's the one that wants to get into all the mischief and bug Stewie And Stella, did you put yourself in here? What are you doing?
It was eaten and then he probably just killed.
Yes, he has a pink bow because we thought he was a girl, and then we got the bow before the collar, before we found out he was a boy.
And he's keeping it.
Yep, and my wife said that you're gonna keep it. Get them big mittens out of here. There's only so much cuteness you can get in one video, and this is it right here. This is all of it. What are you doing, brother? Tapping him. Would you guys like to say bye-bye? Do you want to say bye-bye? Huh?